Hey Facebook, what's going on? I just wanted to reach out and talk about a few things that I've seen on Facebook today, a little posting. Somebody posted a video about LeBron James, how tough his childhood was and how he's a mentor because he had so many problems growing up. It says that basically, his dad left him when he was born, never seen his dad, and he was on food stamps and slept on couches, and named himself the best player, the king, when he was still in high school. And he's come so far, he's proved that there is success out of the ghetto, he calls it, basically. Well, I like to tell you, LeBron James, you're not the only one in the world that has went through all that hell, and there are still millions of people out there still going through it. Myself, my siblings, we grew up in a single parent home also. There was 5 of us. Not 1, not 2, but there was 5 of us. I spent the time going to the corner store with the plastic food stamp coins, 3 different colors, the food stamp book, pulling out the dollar ones, the $2 ones, the $5 ones. Taking Pepsi bottles up there for deposit, get my 80 cents back so I can get me a pop or take some dish soap home to my mom. But LeBron thinks his story is so great and he puts him above everybody. Well, like I said, there was 5 of us being on welfare. We had the big block of cheese. I had shoes called Omegas I went to high school with in 10th grade. I didn't have things given to me. I didn't have scouts looking at me for basketball because I was 6'8", 6'9", which I would hope any human being, black, white, Chinese, Mexican, Spanish, Middle Eastern, whatever, if you're 6'9", I truly do hope you can play basketball. You shouldn't have a problem playing basketball. But considering him the greatest to come out of the ghetto and have the impact he does, I totally disagree. I still got friends and family that are still struggling. We're a family that is struggling bad. I lost a great career. I was making $80,000 a year with my career, and I lost it all because of a health issue. I was forced to go on disability. I was forced to stop working. I was forced to lose everything we have because of a health issue. But does that bother someone like LeBron James or these other athletes making millions and millions and millions of dollars? They say they do so much for the community. No, they help their communities. They don't help everybody. Why is there no groups out there doing donations to collect money for the homeless? Why aren't we building homes? John Bon Jovi out there has a restaurant. He feeds homeless people and poor people for free. Doesn't charge them a dime. He's out there building houses for people. Tim Tebow doing great work for anybody. I got a friend locally, John Sayer, who runs a nonprofit, Blessing in Disguise, who has done miraculous things that I know of in the last 2 years. And him and I have become great friends within the last year because he actually helped us out last year in August. He brought Kristen Brenneman into our home. She helped do an interview for my health and about my health. There's no cure for me. People tell me I should tell my kids that it's okay. Your kids will be fine. They'll get over it. You believe someone really told me my kids would get over it eventually? Okay, I got 5 kids total, 3 grandkids total. Youngest grandkid not even a year yet, little Isaac. I got a granddaughter, Peyton. I got a granddaughter, Aaliyah. And it's not fair to them. They're not going to see grandpa for long. I have 4 young ones that, 23, 15, 16, and 10. How do you tell them every day that, oh, so-and-so said you'll get over your illness? Did we spoil our kids when I was healthy and I was doing great with my career? Absolutely we did. Did I have stuff like that growing up? No. I got shoes that I had to pass down to my brother. I had to keep him in good shape. And he was 3 years younger than me. And my mom, being on welfare for the longest, being a single parent, she finally couldn't understand why life was so hard for her, and she decided to get 3 jobs to get off welfare because she was embarrassed for herself and for her kids. She knew how hard it was for us as children to be humiliated and talked down on. Or you wear the same pair of pants to school every day. You only have 3 or 4 different shirts. So my mom worked 3 jobs when we were kids. 3 jobs. 2 full-time and a part-time. We probably seen our mom 1 day a week growing up. I had 2 older sisters, a younger brother and sister, that we had to raise ourselves at home. It was tough, because mom had to work because she had to give herself some self-esteem and get off the welfare. And was she tough on us as kids? Absolutely she was. We got our butts beat. We did something wrong. We got grounded. We got our TV taken from us, so, our 9-inch black and white. It had 3-channel turn knobs. Holidays came around, we were lucky, we were much appreciated the socks we got and the Brute cologne I got at 16 and, the football or basketball we'd get for our birthdays. That was, it wasn't about what we got. It's just about my mom worked hard to give us what we got. And she raised each and every one of us to be the best that we can. I had a stepfather who came in who I consider my father because he's been there for 90% of my life. And they changed my life as parents. They helped me groom myself into the man I am today, the father I am today, the husband, the grandfather. It's tough, but my sister Susan, who's a nurse at the Cleveland Clinic, she's a nurse in heart surgery. She goes around and gets organs for people on the plane and the helicopter. God bless her soul. She does wonderful, wonderful work. She's a hero in my eyes. She's a mentor. She's a hero. Compared to LeBron James and my sister's a bigger hero than LeBron James. She saves lives. She don't play basketball. She don't have fun on a basketball court for 48 minutes a night, only 80 days of the year. So she raised her daughter on her own. Her daughter, Mandy, never met her father. Never met him. He was killed. She never had the opportunity to meet her father. But you know what? My sister Susan put her through University of Michigan. Then she interned with American Express in New York. And now she's a successful analyst for American Express. Goes to different countries, everything for them. My nephew Mikey lives out in Arizona. Another one. Grew up with a single mom because her and her husband got a divorce when Mikey was young. He has 2 younger brothers. Tommy's an amateur filmmaker out in New York, New Jersey area. Does rap videos, does little independent films. Doing great. Her other son, Mike, Joey, he wants to become a wrestler. A professional wrestler. He's done great. I give him credit. These are 3 kids that worked hard for everything they got. Our Taylor niece grew up in a home. She joined the Coast Guard. Took herself all the way to Alaska for it. Had a baby. She's married to a great guy named Chris. They moved back to, actually just recently, into New York to get closer to home. And again, another success story. Then, you get to my kids, and I don't even know where to start when it comes to my kids because my kids are great. Jordan, my oldest, 23 years old. Great father, getting married next year. Started his first job as Halloween help at a Party City. Now he's management. He was one of 63 people hired right out of high school to work at a Halloween store. And they kept him. One of 63 people. He's got such great working morals and compassion and loves what he does. He takes care of people. He loves helping people. Again, that's a mentor in my eyes. That's a hero. Someone who's there, he might run a Party City and, help people with graduations and weddings and holidays. But you know what? He's successful and he's happy. Works every day. That's a part-time job on top of that. His fiance works 2 jobs. They have a beautiful daughter, which is my granddaughter, Peyton Lynn. They do everything in the world for her. Then I got Noah, who's one of the best athletes I've ever seen face-to-face growing up as a kid. I got to play, graduated in high school in the years that Mark Lewis came out of Ohio, Griffey came out of Ohio. I played with a lot of great people who taught me a lot. Tom Aker, Brett Zarbo, Don Booth, Tim Mullins, Terrence Goizer, Renard Love. The list goes on and on. Some of the guys I've played baseball with. Some of the guys I travel playing softball with. Gary Henry, Dennis Thorne, Jack and Gary Walls, Bill Gass, Tuna. A lot of guys who really gave it their all. But you know what? They worked full-time jobs. And then we'd play 160, 170 games of softball in 5 months. Sometimes even more than that with the tournaments. But we worked hard every single day. We did our jobs. We supported our families. Were we all athletes or movie stars? Professionally? No, absolutely not. But you know what? Our kids and friends and significant others looked up to us because we did give it our all every single day that we went on to work, onto the field, off the field, onto the next field. It was tough. Myself, I've had 27 surgeries. I've had spinal surgery, back surgeries, implants, complete shoulder labrum repairs, compartment syndromes. I've had a lot done to me, and I still fight every day. I was told to stop lifting things over 4 pounds back in 2007. I didn't listen. They told me I had to stop playing sports because of my disease catching up with me. I tried coming back, hit a ball, running first base, and collapsed. Lost it all. So over 30 years of playing baseball and softball, and I had to walk away from it. But you know what? My kids still looked up to me because they know Dad went out there every day hurting and still gave it his all. I wasn't getting paid to play. I didn't cry because my hamstring got hurt, or I got a cut on my eye, or I flopped on the ground on a fake foul, or I flopped on the ground because we're down 20 points, or I flopped because someone looked at me wrong. Even football, the new rules of football. You can't put body on a quarterback. You got to protect him. You can't hit a wide receiver anymore with their upper area, or you get penalty. No, we're making sports players into sissies, but we're supposed to look at them as professional mentors and heroes to our children. I disagree. These guys back in the 80s and 90s and even the 70s that I got to see in baseball, basketball, football, Dr. J's, Larry Birds, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, just to name a few. Michael Jordan, of course, the GOAT, best ever, no one's ever going to be better than him. Then you got your baseball players who gave it their all. You had your Nolan Ryans, your J.R. Richards, your Don Mattingly's, your Mickey Mantles. I mean, you got baseball players who did it all, who gave it their all for $300,000 a year, $400,000 a year. Derek Jeter, the captain of the Yankees, started with them, came through the system with them, never left them because of money, never threatened to leave them because of money. It's not about a business. It's about commitment to the city, commitment to their fans, and commitment to their family. But any more athletes nowadays, it's a business. I'm going to leave because I want more money. I'm sorry, $37 million a year is not enough. I want to make $38 million a year. If you make $2 million in your life, if you're smart enough to invest it and get the right advisor, you can live off that. Why do you need $600 million or $1 billion to prove a point? What are you proving? That you're money hungry? That you're greedy? That you're an egotistical ass in my eyes? Because to me, you're not a hero to these kids. People like Tim Tebow's and Cal Ripkins and Derek Jeters and Mariano Rivera, these guys who stayed in one city and gave it their all. Big Papi in Boston. Larry Bird, Dr. J, like I said previously. These are people who gave it their all, who played the games because they love playing the game. Not because they got more money. I mean, I think Cal Ripken retired making $6 million a year. But he never left Baltimore. Never threatened to leave Baltimore. He was the face of the Baltimore Orioles. He was the Iron Man in baseball. To me, baseball players are some of the best athletes in the world. In basketball, if you're 6'5", 6'6" and over in height, black, white, Chinese, Mexican, Serbian, Ukrainian, whatever you are, if you can't play basketball, there's something wrong with you. You know, when you put your arms up and you're 9'7" and you're only, what, 4 or 5 inches from the rim and you can't make a layup because some guy was next to you? Are you really the athlete you thought you were? I don't think so. You know, you're missing an open dunk when you're 6'9" running down the court and you miss a dunk, nobody around you. Are you truly that big athlete that you think you are? I think not. I give credit to people like Allen Iverson, Jason Kidd, Jason Williams. You know, these guys who were 6'1", who gave it their all, who had to earn their spot. Muggsy Bogues, let's look at him. Spud Webb. These guys were little guys, and they made it. You know, those guys gave it their all. You know, even people like Kyrie Irving. I think he's one of the greatest players out there. You know, you got Steph Curry. You think Curry's ever going to leave Golden State? I don't think so. No, but again, it's all about money. It's all about business nowadays with a lot of the players, a lot of the athletes especially. And not all of them. 75% of them think it's about money. You know, because they need a 176,000 gallon fish tank in their house, 48 cars, 11 houses. For what? You know, these athletes, you know, let's use someone like LeBron, for instance. LeBron, when I die, I'm going 6 feet under. When you die, you're going 6 feet under. Guess what? We're both going in the same dirt. Worms are going to eat both of us. You know, come to the realization, you're not above the world. You're not above every human being in the world. You know, how do you put your pants on? Right leg first or left leg first? Because I'm sure I probably do it the exact same way. I tie my shoes one shoe at a time also. But you know what, LeBron, what makes me totally different than you is I worked hard labor to get to where I am in life. I unloaded 53-foot trailers full of furniture, top to bottom, front to back, side to side, with a dolly by myself every day of the week for, what, 20-some years? Multiple surgeries, back surgeries, arm surgeries, leg surgeries, knee surgeries, ankle surgeries, you name it. You know what? But I would take a day off of work for surgery, and 3 days later I was back. Stitches busting open, bleeding, putting super glue on it. But you know what? I kept working. I didn't cry and have my friends carry me off my sales floor because my hamstring hurt. You know, when it comes to reality and who's really the heroes out there, I feel the men and women who bust their ass every single day to support their families with careers, with jobs. Work 2 jobs. Some people work 3 jobs. I did 3 jobs for 15 years. I worked 2 full-time jobs when my son was born, and he was born premature. And I worked 19 of 24 hours every day for 2.5 years. But you know what? I never cried about it. I worked hard. I gave it my all to support my family. So some of you athletes, some of you movie stars who, like, for instance, Ellen and her little group of, you know, her little clique, I guess you would say, of people that are going to move out of the country because of Donald Trump. Seriously? You're going to move out of the country because of Donald Trump? Do you realize how big of an idiot you sound like? You know, what are you trying to, or who are you trying to impress, is maybe the word I should use. I mean, what, do you think people are going to jump on your bandwagon and leave? Well, he's been president now for, you know, a few years now, and you're still here. You're still trying to get in movies, you know, with a couple of her followers. Jason, you know, Jennifer Lawrence is one, and Bradley Cooper, you know, just name a couple of them. You know, they're talking about they're leaving the country. Roseanne. I'm sorry, not Roseanne. I apologize, Roseanne. Rosie O'Donnell, Whoopi, the whole cast of The View, actually. Get out. If it bothers you that bad, he's our president, get out. If you're going to leave, quit saying you're going to do it and act upon it. You know, people who live in reality, who live in the real world, when we want something or our families need it, we do it. You know, we don't say it, you know, just to try to get people to jump on our bandwagon because we make millions of dollars a year. You know, we want people to benefit to your charity or donate to your charity, and then you get all the credit for your charities. Why? Why should we donate to a rich person's charity? Why ain't you donating your own? Why aren't you building hospitals or houses? Some of you athletes, some of you movie stars, you singers. Why isn't there more Bon Jovis out there and Dr. Phil's and Tim Tebow's? I mean, it can go on and on. There's a lot of people out there who do great for everybody, no matter what their race, creed, color, religion might be. Too many out there only want to help their kind, their people, their race, their religion, their creed, their genre, whatever it might be. That's it. That's all they want to help. So if you're not part of that clique, you're nobody to them. You're not worth helping. They want to complain about immigrants and illegal people, and let's do all this for the veterans. Let's do this for the homeless. But now let's not help the veterans. Let's not help the homeless. Let's help the immigrants. Wait a minute. If we're supposed to be the best and the greatest country in the world, why don't we start at home and help those here? What about all the kids who are going to the soup kitchens, who are going without meals, the homeless people that are on the streets? Why aren't we giving them jobs? Why aren't we building little one-room efficiency townhouses for these people? Get them off the streets. These athletes and movie stars can't donate a couple $1 million each to really help these people. But, it started back when, USA to Africa, Farm Aid, all these different things. Did these people really get all the help they should have got? All these charities and foundations out there. And we're still struggling with the same problems we've been struggling with since I was a kid. There's still homeless. There's still drugs. There's still crime. There's still people coming in the country illegally. And it's always been there. Why is it now all of a sudden it's Donald Trump's fault for all this? I disagree. If more people had empathy and compassion for people in this world instead of hate and animosity, we would go a lot further. We would be a lot further than we'd ever thought about being. Technology nowadays, is it great? Absolutely. But Big Brother's watching everything we do. The cameras, the GPSs, the webcams on the TVs, the computer monitors, the laptops, the tablets. Everything we do is monitored by the government, by Facebook, by you name it. Everybody's watching everything we do. But why? When we were kids, played outside from the minute you got up till the lights came on, then you better get your little ass home or you were getting a whooping. Not just from your mom, but it might be your best friend's mom or your other friend's mom, because they didn't play around when we were kids. Am I saying it's right to beat your kids and yell and scream? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But nowadays there's too much freedom for children, and the law has given the kids the opportunity to say, touch me and I'll sue you. Touch me and I'll call the police. Touch me. Wait, where's the family bonds at and the love? Like I said, I have 5 kids total. I got 3 that still live with me. My kids never in their life said, I'm calling the cops on you. Did I ever hit my kids? Absolutely not. If I ever laid a hand on my kids? Absolutely not. It's the way you raise them with morals and compassion. Help them understand what empathy and sympathy is and the difference between the two. There's the difference between integrity and, I guess you would say, I'm lost for words. This isn't just a rant. I'm trying to think of everything that's going on that I'm trying to cover because of the way the world has become. And it's a shame, with everything out there that's going on, you think about the veterans and everything they've done in the wars, and we don't want to look back at the wars to where every race that lived in America helped us win and helped us keep our freedom and protect our freedom. But there's others who just want to focus on what we did to blacks or the Jewish people community 100 years ago. Just about. I mean, none of us were alive then. None of us. Was our grandparents or maybe their grandparents affected by all this? Probably. But are we nowadays? No, we're not. For us to say the police are wrong, the police brutality, Black Lives Matter, Antifa, ISIS. Everything is about hate. Everything is about point the finger at somebody else. If you look at the way police are, and I watch a lot of police shows. I got family that are police officers, detectives, SWAT members, friends who do executive protection. I got a friend who's a U.S. Marshal. There's no stereotyping when it comes to, okay, there's a black person, let's get him automatically and beat him up. That's not what it's about. If you break the law, no matter what color you are, suffer the consequences. If you're a drug dealer and you decide you want to sell drugs to people and they die because of your product, I think you should never see a light of day again. You murder somebody, it should be eye for an eye. Go back to capital punishment in America. Watch how crime would drop. It would drop. Some of these little third world countries and some of these little bad countries that we don't get along with. Someone steals, they cut their hand off. You rape, they castrate you. I say we do that. Watch crime rates. Watch how they drop. But then we want to blame everything on the guns, everything on NRA, everything on Donald Trump. Guns have been around since the 1800s. The cowboys and when they fought the Indians and the French when they came over, and you name it, there was always weapons because of hate, not because of it's out because the NRA's there. We worry too much about taking something from us as Americans that we have the right to own to protect ourselves, protect our families, and they say, why do you need an AR-15 to protect your family? Okay, maybe I should have a revolver when I got 20 people robbing me at the corner. I look at it this way. You got 10 people coming at you, you should be able to stop all 10. If you got 3, you should be able to stop all 3. If you shoot at one and that person or him or her stays up because they're on drugs and that are with the flakka and the ice and all these different things that are out there, it might take 5, 6, 7 shots to put these people down. Am I saying violence is the answer? Absolutely not. But what I am saying is that, we want to take, but what are we giving back? We blame the school shootings because they happen so often. That's the ones we talk about. That's the ones that, you got people like that David Hogg and his little cronies in the Democratic Party and the left side all come out and say, kids shouldn't have to die. Well, I look at it this way. Nobody should have to die. Black on black crime, white on white crime, home invasions, gangs. Back when I was a young kid, they called it going postal because of the postal worker that went in and shot up a post office one time. That was almost 40 years ago. But where was the things about the NRA and all that back then? I didn't ever heard it. What about the whole Waco, Texas thing with all those assault rifles and stuff that happened? They never mentioned it then. The Oklahoma City bombing. Why didn't they ban fertilizer? Why didn't they ban something else? Blame it, on one guy. Well, blame it on mental health. And there's people out there who are completely sane, who maybe just had enough about being a victim their whole life. A lot of people have blinders on to what's going on around them. Their community, their schools. Bullying is one of the worst things in the world. We had an incident at one of my kids' schools a couple years ago that was very tragic. I won't mention no names or really get into detail about it. But us as parents, we sat down with our kids. And we asked them a few questions, and then we let them talk. Have they witnessed bullying? Have they ever been part of it? What have they done about it? Have they turned the other cheek? Are they curious about? Let them see what happens. We've had threats of school shootings in my kids' schools. Would they shut schools down out here in Maumee, Ohio? Was I scared as a parent? Absolutely. But I look at it this way. If someone hurts one of my family members or one of my great friends or my wife, grandkids, that person will never see a courtroom. They don't deserve to see the courtroom. They might see my shed in my backyard for about 6 months and nobody know they're there. Because man has the right to protect his family. And when a father or a mother or a single parent or is out there working hard every day and trying to make things right for their family and teach kids morals and their integrity and to stay humble. You know, it's hard. It's hard. But you know what? As long as you have communication in your home and you always have that communication with your kids and your family and friends, life's great. Life is great. But the problem nowadays is the technology has destroyed families. Everybody wants a text, happy birthday, Merry Christmas, hope you feel better. Let me do a 9-second Snapchat wave to you. Let me Google something instead of sitting in a library and reading it through a book and really truly understanding it. There is none of that no more. Technology has destroyed it all. And is it helping? Is it great that technology is moving the way it is? Absolutely. But our version of a laptop as a kid was an Etch-a-Sketch. LED lights, yeah, we call it the Light Bright. We stuck pegs in a black piece of paper with a light bulb behind it. We played basketball till midnight in your backyard. You played football, tackle everywhere, street, concrete, grass, bushes, prickers, but you played every day. And that takes us back to these athletes again, which is funny. Everything goes back to me is with the athletes because they're money hungry. They truly are greedy, money hungry, egotistical people. And if my son Noah has an opportunity to make it to the pros, I guarantee he's not that way because of his values he has. He's a very humble person. My kids know where they came from. They know how we had the struggles, and we really have the struggles now. You know, we're struggling. Do we pay the lights or do we feed our kids? Do I drive around for 4 days with the car gas light on and maybe ask the neighbor to take some gas out of their gas can and I can put it in my car? Do we take change to the store and change it in for a $7 coin voucher at Walmart because we need to get milk or diapers or something? Absolutely we do. But we've never put ourselves in front of nobody. You know, too many people out there nowadays are really putting themselves on a pedestal. Like even me, when I was a store manager of a great furniture company, Value City American Signature Furniture, great company to work for. My customers and my team members were all family to me. I knew customers that were there 2-3 years ago by first names and their kids, and I knew about baseball tournaments and birthdays coming up and veteran stories and helping people with diabetes, helping recovering drug addicts, sitting down having talks with them about life and how life can get better. My situation itself has caused me and want to inspire people to be better, to understand life is too short to be upset and live in that fantasy world. But at the same time, you know, I've been bashed that I'm begging people for money. I'm asking people to do everything for my family financially. Is that really what it's about? You know, people say, you know, should just be happy that your kids have you in their life. There's a lot of people out there suffering more than I am. Well, maybe. You know, people with ALS. Okay, I agree with that. You know, people who just lost someone to suicide. Yeah, there's going to be some grieving. I get that. But you know what? Honestly, deep down, I'll take cancer. I'll take 5 gunshots. I'll take diabetes. I'll take open heart surgery. If that's all I got, amen. Give it to me. Bring it on. If I got to have a kidney transplant or a liver transplant or a lung transplant and then I'm healthy afterwards, give it to me. But walk the shoes that I walk in every day. Start your day off with struggling just to sit up out of your bed. You got to catch your breath and balance to get to the closet to get clothes on. Put on your braces that go from your toe to your hip on each leg. Grab your walker. Do your normal things in the bathroom. And then you have to go sit down because you're exhausted already because of the body's system shutting down. Oxygen not flowing. Carbon dioxide building up in your body. And then spend your day in such a depressed mode that it pushes you and gives you that drive to say, you know what? Fuck you, disease. I'm going to beat you. I'm not going to let you keep beating up on me. And that's what I do every single day. You know, like I said, for people to put me down, put my family down, talk bad about us because we're struggling. Well, I'm sorry. Everybody out there's got a perfect life. And did we have one? Absolutely. Money used to be no object to us. You know, for years, because I was making great money. Teresa was making great money. But now with Teresa just doing, you know, a little bit of part-time work because she's with me a lot, and me not being able to work at all, you know, going from bringing home anywhere between, say, $5,500 to $7,500 a month between the two of us. That was great money. That's bring home pay. That's not gross pay. And like I said, I had a couple years as a manager where I had great bonuses, plus my salary, you know, plus my signing bonus for getting my own store. Got moved, you know, free of charge basically to a new city. Kids live in a great town where my kids are very popular, but, you know, again, still humble because they know their roots and where they came from. You know, my roots came from the city, like I said, being on welfare, young, running with little gangbangers. You know, we used to be called TUC, the Ultimate Creation. There was like 7 of us. Me, my boy Bobby Friend, Paul Nagy, Randy Griffin, Wayne Monday, AJ Rojas, Joe Velez, Kevin Thomas. No, we weren't a gang. We were guys who hung out at the rec center and played basketball, baseball, football, everything. You name it, we played it. But we were family. We didn't go out starting fights. You know, then gangs came more prominent in the mid-'80s. You know, then the folks came, you know, and then we started hanging out with a lot of them due to the fact that they hung out where we hung out. Did I consider myself a gangbanger? No, but I would help my friends and my brothers and my family anytime they needed it. Did I feel they were the answer to me in my situation at home? Absolutely not. Because we all got our own minds. We all got our own brains. You know, too many people want to blame, I'm an alcoholic because my daddy was an alcoholic. I beat up my wife because my daddy beat up my mom. I'm sorry, I don't believe in any of that bullshit. You know, I had an alcoholic father. I had a guy who beat up my mom. I grew up with people with the violence and the drug dealers and all that around me. I'm none of that. I didn't turn out to be any of that. I haven't drank alcohol in years. But you know what I have done? I have been there for everybody. Strangers, friends, acquaintances, employees, you name it. You know, I've ran into 2 burning houses in my life. First one when I was 14 years old I ran into. Next one I was 17 years old, ran into a burning house to help somebody. Got to the upstairs, smoke took over, stumbled down the stairs, but you know what? We got the guy out of the house. Did I feel I was a hero? No, I just feel that was a neighbor and I had to help him. I was a kid. And as time got older, I started, you know, especially when I became a father, I did so much of things I shouldn't have done to help people because I'm thinking, where's the gratitude for it? You know, working at Value City Furniture, North Olmsted, Ohio. Had a guy who robbed the mall come in with over $7,000 of stolen merchandise. Store security from Sears couldn't even catch him. He came in our store. He got away from him in our store. You know, wintertime. I ended up chasing the guy for them across Great Northern Boulevard in a suit, in the snow and ice. Almost got hit by 2 cars crossing Great Northern Boulevard. But then I cornered him in behind the Record Exchange and a little Italian restaurant. And he jumped out of a dumpster, hiding. I hog-tied him in the air, basically, wrapped his legs around mine, drove his head into the ground, the asphalt, and waited for Sears security guards to finally catch up to us. Cops end up showing up, you know, because someone called the cops prior to that at our store. And meantime, I lost my wedding ring in the process. And how Sears repay me? They want to give me a $20 gift card for catching that guy for them. $20 gift card for losing my wedding ring. Again, people don't appreciate the reality of someone really wanting to help somebody and be there for them just because. Then, coming out of the store, same store, with Barb Kuda and Sue, one of my sales associates and one of my office associates, carjacking going on 2 stores down from us. Again, I told the ladies to get in the car, lock the door, call the police. I run into a car and a gunshot's fired. And I'm 15 feet from the car. The guys run. I give chase. Come back and I got a North Olmsted detective with a gun to my face, telling me to put my hands up. And the girl said, no, he came to help me, blah, blah, blah. You know, the girl had a bite mark on her face where the guy in the passenger side tried biting her because she wouldn't give up the purse or the car. She came out of the pet store working, young girl, 18-year-old young girl, scared to death. I don't think about that. You know, I was a bouncer for a long time. I did security for concerts, backstage, VIP rooms, everything. To protect people I didn't even know. Stopped lots of fights at bars and nightclubs with no help. You know, using my brain more than my brawn. Did I have to use force at times? Absolutely I did. But when I became a bouncer, I basically